Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video, which has been long promised. Thank you for being so patient. I am going to do a video around changing nappies out and about. Basically, thank you for the viewer who actually recommended I do this because they found it really interesting. Secondly, I'm going to have you use your imagination a little bit in this one, so bear with me. I'm going to explain what I'm doing. Firstly, I've got lots of things on the bed right here, which I'm going to take you through. So what kind of stuff am I taking with me? Before I start though, please do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Also, if you are interested in mum stuff, from mum hacks to clean with me's and nappy changes and stuff like that, then I'd love to have you with us. So please do hit that subscribe button and hit the bell as well so that you get notified each time I put out a video. Without further ado, let's get to it. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Alina Ghost. I have a son who is 2.5 years old. He is potty trained, so happy days. And because he is potty trained, I'm going to do something a little bit different in this video, which is actually bring a doll with us. So not only are we using a doll today to go out and about and then do that nappy change video, so you're gonna have to use your imagination a little bit, pretend that this doll is actually a baby. And not only am I doing that, but I'm not using a cloth nappy this time. I'm going to use a real nappy because I know you are interested to see how that works as well. How about I stop rambling and I'll get straight into it and show you guys what I'm talking about. So firstly, my dog's right here, so don't mind him if you hear funny noises. Secondly, let me turn you around. So let me introduce you to Tommy. So this is Tommy, our baby, and basically because my son is now potty trained, I don't want him to step back with his potty training, which happened when we went to preschool. Like, we started a new preschool in September, and all of our hard work that we've had for a few months actually went backwards because we started putting him in nappies for preschool. Anyway, that's long story short. The idea is basically I'm not putting him into nappies anymore so that he doesn't set back again. So I'm using a doll this time. Yes, it's a little bit big for the doll, but use your imagination, as I've mentioned earlier. Let's go for it. Let's see how we get on. So basically I'm going to put this on and I'm going to use chocolate spread to pretend that he's pooped. Don't worry, I will wash this afterwards. It's machine washable, really easy to take off via Velcro. But basically we're going to put this nappy on him and take him with us. So these are the things that I would take with me, and I'm actually showing you guys what I would bring for a toddler as well as a baby. So for example, I said Aiden is potty trained, so this is actually his portable potty training loo. So it opens up. I've got a nice video about how it works and stuff, so I'm going to add it right here so that you can see how it works. I've got lots of, like, a change of clothes basically, just in case he does have an accident. We've got some pants, trousers, socks, a top and a jumper here because it's kind of cold. It's November, end of November, so it is getting pretty chilly. I have got water, which I'll put in this section because I use the water for the wipes. So I've got 3 types of wipes with me. I've got this fleecy Bell Bums one, I've got this reusable nice wipes, and a muslin as well, which I rate very highly. They're so big and they're so versatile. I absolutely love those. And basically, if you don't use reusable stuff, it will be normal wipes. But for me, this is what I do. I use a bit of water, and I'll show you later as well how I clean up Tommy with this stuff, and the water is very important for that as well, just to give it a little bit more moisture in case there's some poopies that are going to be a little bit more dry than usual. So just in case, we've got tissues, we've got anti-bac, which is very important. So for me, if it gets onto my hands, I'm a little bit disgusted, and therefore I use anti-bac, and it all seems much better. I've also got some pseudo cream. As you can see, it's well loved, sorry about that. But basically it's like a mini pseudo cream. Just use that on their bot to make sure that there are no rashes. And I use a bag, so a wet bag. I got a set of 3 from Amazon, different sizes. This one's the medium sized one, and I basically put the reusable nappies and wipes in there usually, but in this case we're going to use some biodegradable poo, usually dog poo bags to put the nappy into and then dispose of. Obviously you can use nappy bags and things like that, which I don't have here, but I'll make sure to put that into my bag. Which reminds me, this bag I rate so highly. I've bought it when Aiden was a newborn, so 2.5 years ago more. Excuse the fact that it's really dirty, but it's well loved. Basically it's got so many pockets in here, used, abused, as you can see. I've got loads of pockets, and the idea is that it's got side pockets as well for like bottles. It's got a side opening here if you wanted to put your wipes in and take the wipes out that way, which is really handy. And then it's got a front pocket as well. Sorry, a little bit difficult to do with one hand. Come on. So lots of space in here. I've got a mask in here for when it was COVID. Another sterilising spray, which is really useful for hygiene and just to make sure that if babies throw anything out of the pram, that actually it gets all marginally okay. So next is basically a couple of reusable nappies if you wanted to take disposables. I don't have very many of these. I actually have, these are one of my last ones, and you're lucky that I've actually got any at all because I didn't use any. So the fact that I've got this rather than reusable nappies is lucky, so hopefully we'll see how that gets on. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. If I am, I'm sure we'll realise along the way when we actually go to the park. So the plan is to pick up Aiden from nursery. I'm actually working from home today and I managed to take my lunch a little bit later. I'm going to pick him up in like 5 minutes and we'll go straight to the park from then on. And then you'll see what how it works, what the process is when I'm out and about. So I'm actually going to show you, because it's really cold, I would change my son in the car and I'll show you that. Maybe next time, if we ever have another child, I'll show you guys actually going out to places to do that. So whether it's shops, whether it's like a kid-friendly place, like a zoo for example, I'll show you how it works. But in the meantime, I will show you how I changed him in the car, previously using Tommy as an example, and then we'll go to the playground for a bit and have lots and lots of fun. I quickly came back for the changing mat. I remembered as soon as I put stuff in the car, basically this is the one that we used all the time, used so often. It's really good, like you can fold it up and it actually zips up. It's actually got another section too where it's got pockets and things. We got this as a gift, so I don't know exactly where to get it from, but I'll make sure to link a similar one for you guys in the description box below. We've got the bag, we've got Tommy and his soiled nappy, and we're going to pick up Aiden from preschool, then grab the car and go to the park. Good boy, come here boy. That's a good boy. Ashley? Fun, and so it's time to change Tommy. As you can see, I'm taking things out of the bag to get ready to change Tommy, and in the meantime I'm also trying to appease Aiden, who's trying to reach over into the bag for some snacks and other things like that, so do bear with me. I'm sorry some of my coat is in the way. what I'm doing is putting some water onto the muslin to have an area that is moist and wet to clean Tommy's bottom. So any dry bits, any bits will come off as easy as possible using that moist section. So I open up a Tommy, you can see my chocolate spread in there, and actually it didn't go onto his bottom too much and onto his clothes, but you can see here that I'm using the back of the nappy to try and grab as much poo off as possible. I know that he doesn't have any, but use your imagination. Imagine that there was lots of poo on his bottom. Use the back of the nappy to scrape as much solid stuff as possible. I know it's hard, especially at the beginning when it's all liquidy, but try and scrape as much off so that it's easier to put into a bin bag. Here, as you can see, this one's a disposable poo bag, so I've popped that in there. And the next thing to do is use the dry section of the muslin to wipe as much as possible off too. Or is this the wet section? This is actually the wet section that we're getting as much off as possible, and then use the dry bit to pat it down to make sure that there's no moisture there so that there's no rashes. Obviously you can add pseudo cream after you've wiped as much off as possible. Hopefully it's all clean so that there's no rashes. Add pseudo cream on, and then it's time to put everything into our wet bag / into the bins, and then we put a fresh nappy on here. I'm using a reusable cloth nappy. If you wanted to know more about those, I've got plenty of videos. I don't know if you've noticed, but I also pick up Tommy using his feet. I did the same when Aiden was very tiny. It's very comfortable for me. I put away the stuff and then our baby is nice and clean, and Aiden decided here that he wanted to have a look at Tommy and play with him too. Aww.
Got back on it.
Uh-huh.
I'm taking off.
No. Snimaj.
There's Poopy's gone.
Where's Poopy's? I thought she's there.
Where's Poo taking off?
So basically, I won't lie, we didn't last very long out there. I didn't realise quite how windy it was, and we didn't have any hats and everything, so Aiden ran back to the car. Being in the playground literally about 2 minutes, and we're going back home now. So I guess that was a quick one. I hope you liked the nappy change. What's wrong, Aiden? Chibbo. He loves to run around inside the car, pressing lots of buttons and things. Aiden. That's literally what I would do outdoors or like out and about. I prefer the safety of the car rather than outside. If it was hot, then yes, I definitely don't mind putting like the changing mat on the grass and outside and actually changing the baby there. But because it's so windy and cold, as I've mentioned, I decided to basically do it in the car away from like the weather, and hopefully it's a little bit warm as well. It's never nice. I think the biggest struggle isn't even changing the nappy. So if you're a new mum, parent, whatever, the challenge is actually keeping the baby still when you're changing them. So the fact that the doll wasn't moving, it was just super easy to change them. And Aiden, are you going from one filter to the next, closing it? One last thing before I end the video, and that's basically when we do go home, I end up putting the poo bag either with we've got like an outdoor bin where we put all the dog poo stuff in. So I would put the disposable nappy in there as well, just like it's the smells and stuff. Either that or it goes straight in the garage in a black bag to be given to the bin men. But then obviously reusable nappies, reusable wipes and things like that go into the washing machine straight away. If you wanted to have a look at my routines of cloth nappies specifically, I've got tons and tons of videos I'll put in the description below. I'll also add a link up there so that you can check that out. So thank you so much for joining me today and for your imagination. Thank you for opening your mind and seeing Tommy, my doll, as the baby, and I hope that you enjoyed it.
Look.
Oh, perfect timing. Let's go home and draw. That's quite a good pen actually. Это очень хорошая ручка. О, как классно, спасибо, здесь два.